Does your GoPro sound like crap? Mine sure does. I do educational pro audio videos, and I've been using GoPro. I know they're action cameras, but I use those for filming various angles and stuff. And it'd be great if I could use the audio from these cameras. Maybe my recorder doesn't work, or I have some other issues. I decided to take a look and see if I could get some decent audio. I'll switch to this camera and you can hear how wonderful this thing sounds. That's facetiousness. Hey, it's muddy, blurry, blah. So what I'm going to do is we'll dig into the various settings. We'll analyze the audio file. Do you know it records a 4-channel wave file? Only 3 of them work, but there's 3 more audio plus the stereo video file. There's 5 channels of audio we can mess with here. There's 3 microphones, a pinhole left, a pinhole top, and a square hole on the other side, depending on which way you're looking, the left and right. And let's see if they make noise. Let's take some noise and see what happens. Oh, we got wind through a hairdryer. And let's see what mic goes where. And let's see if we can find a way or look at ways to dig out quality audio, or at least usable audio, from something that doesn't sound good. Now, this is an older GoPro. There are newer versions out. And if this video is popular, maybe I'll buy one of the newer ones and we'll dig into that as well. Because I love audio, even if it's on a video camera. Cool. Well, let's dive into it. I'm going to use Adobe Premiere. I'm going to take a bunch of files that I create with various tests and listen to what we get and see what we can do. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the video files that I've recorded on the Hero5 Black, and I also used a Session 5 Black as well. I've loaded everything into Adobe Premiere, and we can see all the various video and audio files. I'll explain what I got here. This one here that we're looking at is the Nikon. I've deleted that audio track, and that's a video you'll see from far away. This second one here, I can bring it up. And this is the GoPro Hero5 that we'll be testing for audio. And this one here is a GoPro Session, which is sitting above, which we'll use for up close. And we have the audio from that. And that's what I'll use for audio in between the tests. Down here in the audio track world, we've got the first track here. We can click on that. And that is this camera here, which is the GoPro 5, the one that we're testing. So this is the main stereo audio track that you would get that's attached to the video when you hit record. This next audio track, this stereo track, is coming from the Session. So we'll just be using that for audio to carry through because I turned the GoPro Hero5 Black on and off, and that'll be our main audio. And then these tracks here are the wave files that have exploded out into 4 different mono tracks. And we can look and listen to those in the various settings. So let's go ahead and get started. We're unmuted here. And we will be hearing, I'm going to switch from the local recorder, and you'll be hearing the audio from the Session 5. And possibly see why we're diving into the crappy audio of this unit. All right, for the first test, let's go ahead and have the camera settings at the most common of what people would start with, which is the audio is in auto mode and Pro Tune is off. There's no wave file created. Let's go ahead and make some noise. You can hear my voice now, so we'll have an idea what that sounds like. And let's say we have a windy environment. And since these are action cameras, let's go ahead and make some noise. Now, while we're doing it, let's go ahead and put a windscreen on. This actually came from a Tascam recorder, so I'm going to put that over the camera here. Now we'll shoot some wind from behind. and see how that affects it. And we'll take that off. Kind of is your auto setting. That's what you're going to end up with in your various environments using the basic settings. And we will put it on stereo only. Okay, I had to switch there to the session 5 audio, and I'll do that each time I shut off the camera from now on. So when you hear the audio switch, that's what I'm doing. All right, so now we're in stereo only instead of auto. Pro Tune is off. Let's do that. Cool. Now we'll shut that off, and let's do wind only, and we'll give that a shot and turn this on. Cool. Shut this off again. All right, so one thing you may have noticed is that when it's in the wind only mode, we lose a lot of low end on the voice. It's doing that wind compensation, rolling off low end, so my voice doesn't sound as boomy. I can go back to that and we can give it a listen. The screen on this actually came from a Tascam recorder. So that's with the wind off. And then we should try to be able to do the wind on here. You can hear my voice with wind only on. Cool, now let's get into the Pro Tune stuff. The Pro Tune creates an extra wave file, so let's go ahead and check that out. Let's set that to low. Okay, so now we're in low for Audio Pro Tune. Cool. All right, so now we're in Pro Tune low and stereo only, and let's go ahead and find these microphones. This camera actually has 3 different microphones on it. Okay, so we're in Pro Tune mode and it's created this wave file, but we're listening to still the stereo audio track that is embedded into the video. Let's go back and listen to that same thing with those audio files that it created. So what we'll do is we will listen. I'll turn them all on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and as you can hear, that's super low volume. So let's go ahead and add some gain to it. And I'm going to add 40 dB of gain, which is a lot. That's a lot, but it records them really low. And what I'm thinking is that because these things are designed to deal with motorsports and a lot of outdoor, they're recording it at a very low level so that it doesn't distort, and they have copies of it, and then they process it up. All right, so now we're in Pro Tune low and stereo only. And let's compare that to the track that is included with the unit, the video track. I'll switch back and forth between them. Cool. All right, so now we're in Pro Tune and stereo only, and already we sound way better. Let's go ahead and try track number 2 and try it again. Pro Tune low and stereo only. Now let's compare that to what this camera was giving me in the video track. Low and stereo only, and find these microphones. Night and day. We found something usable here. That's actually not too bad. Not great, but not good. And all right, so now we're in Pro Tune low. That's number 3. Cool, so let's go ahead and move on from there. We found that these audio tracks have some quality to them. The in-ears, and they create track sound from a tiny little hole there, and it's fairly high fidelity. It's very high fidelity sound. And I've got a pink noise generator here, this sound bullet. Let's turn that on. Let's go ahead and find these microphones. So I'm going to plug one, so we just got sound coming from one. And it's a hissing sound, so let's go ahead and there's 3 mics on this. There's one mic that's here, and it's a little square on the side where the USB connector mounts. There's another mic up here by the power, and there's a third mic over here on the other side in a little pinhole. Can I show this to you? Okay, so now we can see that the third mic, the pinhole mic, which is on the side of the camera without the connectors, over by the power switch, is audio track number 1. Cool. We'll go back through that and check the other 2 audio tracks. I'm going to turn on audio track number 2 and we can listen. And it's a little square on the side where the USB connector mounts. There's another mic up here by the power, and there's a third mic over here on the other side. Okay, so the square is on track number 2, and that's on the opposite side. And then let's try this third one. Should be track number 3. Here, and it's a little square on the side where the USB connector mounts. There's another mic up here by the power. Cool. So now we know where the 3 mics are. Let's see what on this 4th track is, which I'm unable to get that to reproduce anything. It is just a spare track. It creates an audio file that is not used with any of the settings that I could figure out. Let's go ahead and carry on. What I'm going to do is turn on the main track, and let's see how those 3 mics relate to the main track, how they pan these out stereo. So this is the one on the side, the pinhole on the side. This is the pinhole on the top. And this is the square. Cool. Well, we have it's interesting because the one on the side is one ear, the one on the top is the other ear, and the square is down the center in the panning of the processing. Let me bring up these 10 dB. Let's go ahead and add gain to this whole set of 20 dB, let's say. And let's listen to mic number 1. And the same thing with mic number 2. And the same thing with mic number 3. So the mics are actually not really crapping out as much. Let's go ahead and listen to that with the stereo audio mix here. Let's do wind. Now here we can hear it crackling. So these mics that we've added a lot of gain to are actually recording at a very low volume and not giving us some of the wind noise. Maybe this is helpful for people doing recordings in noisier environments, is to grab these audio tracks rather than the processed one, which sounds more distorted. All right, let's move on. We can try the various tracks here. Interesting. It's not a lot of low end. Not a lot of low end there. And we'll try the third one. And we can try all 3. Well, there's something usable. It doesn't have all that kind of muddy distortion. It sounds actually more like the unit, and we could EQ and use that rather than using this sound here. Let's go on to the medium. Now, in the medium, we can see that only 2 of these tracks now have information. The other 2 are dead, so we've lost one of the tracks. It's doing processing, and now we have 2 dead tracks. So I'm going to add some gain because I see it's a little low there. We'll add 20 dB. That looks about right. Now that kind of sounds like we were hearing over here.
Wind.
Maybe not. Now these are not panned out stereo. We can actually pan out these tracks in stereo when we go to fix them. Let's go put it in high mode.
All right, wind on high processing. Pro tune.
That's the stereo video track. Let's try the same thing with the wave file tracks.
All right, wind on high processing. Pro tune. Grinder. And the sound of my voice on high.
So now what we need to do is check it with and without the case. See? So now we're in stereo only, Pro Tune low. We're kind of in the least processed of the adventures here with the most information.
Turn it on. You can hear the handling noise. I put this into the case. Okay, so now we're in the case and checking out the sound. And we can hear what that sounds like. Now I will take it out of the case. It is out of the case. I'm going to put it inside a foam holder and just set it there. Okay, so now we're out of the case in a little piece of foam just resting there.
All right, so let's go ahead and do that same thing, but let's listen to that with it in the wave file. Hit play. Turn it on. You can hear the handling noise. I put this into the case. Okay, so now we're in the case and checking out the sound. We've got the 3 different audio tracks there, and we can hear what that sounds like. Now I will take it out of the case. It is out of the case. I'm going to put it inside a foam holder and just set it there. Okay, so now we're out of the case in a little piece of foam just resting there. Let's see if we can actually fix some of this stuff. We'll pan the first set of tracks left and make sure they're left. We'll leave the next one center and the next one to the right. Now let's go ahead and see what we got here with the 3 different versions. Turn it on. You can hear the handling noise. I put this into the case. Okay, so now we're in the case and checking out the sound. We've got the 3 different audio tracks there, and we can hear what that sounds like. Now I will take it out of the case. It is out of the case. I'm going to put it inside a foam holder and just set it there. Okay, so now we're out of the case in a little piece of foam just resting there. Mainly I wanted to show that I was excited to find there are audio tracks in there that don't sound as horrible as what it's giving us in the video stereo audio. Cool, and I hope this is helpful. And if you like pro audio and other audio stuff, check out my other videos, and thanks for hanging out.